What's going on, boys? NealGuides here. Welcome back to another video. Now in today's video we're going to go over top 3 meta easy passes that elite players do that you probably do not. People say they do these kind of passes, but they never use them in the right situation, or ultimately just forget about them. So let's go straight into today's video. We're going to go over the examples. I'm going to show you how to do it, what buttons to press. I'm going to show you some real life examples where I annotate how they work. So the driven pass is the first thing. Now there's 2 types of driven passes. The first one is when you hold the R1 plus X, or if you're on Xbox, it's RB plus A. This is a fast pass that goes on the ground. Now what's important to know is when the ball arrives to your feet, it's hard to control this pass. So you don't want to make this pass when someone is close to you. You want to make the pass when someone is a bit far away. So have a look at this example over here. So you can see here, I have the ball and I want to make a pass to someone that's off the screen in this area. Now I can't see him, but if I make a regular pass here, there's a high chance my opponent can intercept it. So what I do is, instead of making a normal pass, as you can see on the controller, I do an R1 plus A or R1 plus X if you're on PlayStation, and that's what delivers the pass. And you can see I apply a bit of power. You see that? Just a bit of power, not too much in terms of that situation. So I do about 3 bars of power, so not overly. Don't forget, a driven pass has naturally more power than a normal pass. So very simple 2 to 3 bars of power. Big goes off screen and the ball arrives to his feet. And you can see the most important thing is your touch. Whenever you receive the ball, take a touch away. As I mentioned to you, there's 2 variations. There's also the driven through ball, which is very similar and very much the same. You can see the exact same thing over here. This time it's the driven through ball. A driven through ball is really good to use if you want to pass the ball into space and if you're not sure that your player will get the ball to his feet or if there's someone in the way. So here's an example. In this situation, I want to make a pass, but you see, making a pass over here might not be easy. It's because if I make a regular pass, the ball will go onto his feet, but I don't want to do a through ball also, because likewise, you could easily run and intercept this pass. So then what I do is I hold the R1 button and I do a driven through ball. You see, I hold the R1 button, then I press the triangle. Maybe a tad bit of power here, but you can see the power driven pass. You can see it adds a bit of curve onto the ball and a lot of pace. And because of that driven pass, it stopped my opponent from getting the ball. Had that been a regular through ball, my opponent would have intercepted the ball. Because it added a bit more power, a bit more velocity on the pass moved quicker, the pass moved above the ground, or at least with some height, and therefore was able to get to the player very quickly. Here's another example I want to show you with the player lock. This time I used the player lock feature to get a player off the screen, as you can see on the radar, to make a runner behind. And as you can see, I request a driven through ball. Driven through balls are very good down the wing. The key thing is to face away from the middle of the pitch to get the ball to curve all the way around, and that way you get such high velocity on the ball and the ball curves inwards towards you. So the driven through ball is also very effective. Well, the next pass I wanted to go over is a lofted pass. A lofted pass is a very good pass. It's good to get the ball to the feet of your striker or to the feet of the player you want to pass to, especially if there's a player in the way. So you can see in some of these clips, I want to make a pass, but there's a lot of players in the way. Now, if I make a regular pass in these clips, my opponent will intercept the ball. But a lofted pass gives a bit of height and dip to the ball, and it bounces around about knee height. And the best way to explain this is there isn't any animations in the game that can really stop it. There's 2 types of lofted pass. There's a lofted through ball, which is double tap triangle, and there's a lofted pass where you double tap X. Obviously, one's a through ball and one's a regular pass. There's an example of a lofted pass being made. You can see over here, when I get the ball, I do a double tap. So you can see I won the ball back over here and I double tap the triangle button. It wasn't really needed here, but I thought he might be running downwards, so why take a risk? I only press an L1 trigger to play someone forward, and as you can see, there's a player in the way. A regular through ball could get intercepted, but if I do a lofted pass, the ball will kind of bobble and bounce, and you can see I want to play the ball into this player, therefore it's a lofted through ball, double tap triangle, and you can see just a bit of power, and as you can see, the ball goes around knee height. You see that? So if I zoom into this, you see that player, how he can't get the ball, and that is basically what you want to achieve, and that way you can get the ball to your player. And as you can see, I do another lofted pass and I score the goal. Again, why a lofted pass is important here. Now you can see if I focus on my controller, this time I do a lofted pass, not a lofted through ball. And as you can see, he slides, I anticipate the slide. And if that was a regular pass, the ball would have gone towards him. But you see, if I rewind it one last time, you can see if you zoom in to this situation, if I zoom in, you see he makes a slide and then do a lofted pass and the ball goes on top of him. So one of the most effective things is to use a lofted pass. Here's another example. I do a lofted pass in a situation you can see here. I do a ball roll and I do a lofted through ball. Those actually work quite well this year. And when you kind of somewhat face away, so you do a ball roll into the opposite direction, not direct opposite, but you're still facing the way you want to go, because I want to force the ball roll on the outside as opposed to the inside. So that's the tip. Do a ball roll before you do a lofted pass. You can see the exact same thing. The ball arrives to my feet and I see someone inside and I try to play for time, do a little bit of a shimmy, and then as you can see I do a double X pass, and unfortunately it doesn't go my way. But you can see very simply in that clip, when I use the lofted pass, the double X, you can see how the ball bounces. Now you can see the player was too close there, so he still got the ball. So you need to add the amount of power depending on the distance you are. Now remember, it's very situational which pass you use. For example, like here I do an L1 trigger and you see the exact same thing again, because I'm on the inside. If I do a regular through ball, he might intercept it. So what I do is I do a double tap triangle and I do a lofted through ball. Luckily this time I went behind my opponent. When I go inside the box, I see there's someone like Lucas Moore go inside the box, do a little bit of a shimmy skill move, the NealGuides trademark, and then I do a double tap lofted pass and the ball goes to Lucas's feet. It's very, very good down the wing, especially in these situations where you want to make a pass in the middle, but you know your opponent's going to man mark it. So you do a double tap lofted pass and the player animation doesn't lock onto it, doesn't auto lock onto it, and it's very easy for you to get the ball and score a goal. I just want to say, if you do want to get better at FIFA, I do have a paid advanced in-depth FIFA School Series. This is for all levels of those that want to improve in FIFA. This is different from YouTube videos. It's in a progressive learning system where all the videos go completely in-depth with examples and explanations. You won't find these videos on my YouTube channel, and these go beyond the scope of typical YouTube videos. They are very elaborate, in-depth videos in a structured format explaining what you need to do one by one incrementally. So come join hundreds of others in a mature audience community for those looking to get better at FIFA. Patreon.com/NealGuides. Link is down below in the description. Of course, I have all of my previous year's videos that still apply to this year, and I have new videos for FIFA 22 being frequently released, and it's already there already, and new ones coming out to adjust to the patches. It's a complete money back guarantee as well, so if you don't get better after 1 month, I'll refund your money. That is a NealGuides guarantee. Patreon.com/NealGuides. But anyway, back to the video. The next one I want to go over is the lob through ball, which is L1 and you double tap the triangle, or L1 and you press the triangle button. It's basically an over the top through ball, especially if this plays in a way, but this year it's very, very effective. Especially with the L1 triangle, the game automatically puts the perfect amount of pace. It doesn't work every time. I wanted to show this example. You can't over abuse it, but it still is very effective. Now, to do a regular lob through ball, what you want to do is you want to get the ball, face the player, and hold the L1 and plus the triangle button. Now, obviously, the longer you hold the triangle button, as you can see on the bottom right, the more power that is applied. So the more power you add, the further the ball will go. And you can see it's very, very effective at getting the ball over the top into dangerous areas. Have a look at this example. So you can see here I'm running in behind. There's a player in front of me and I do a very simple 1-2. Then when I get the ball, I need to pass the ball to St. Maximin. Now here, a lofted pass could work, but a lofted pass is sometimes a bit too short. And I need to get a lofted through ball to get the ball into the space. But there's my chance my opponent get the ball. But you can see here when I get the ball and when I do an L1 triangle, the ball goes perfectly in my trajectory and the player or my opponent actually misses the ball. The key thing is here is that there's no one else in front of me. If there is someone else directly in front of you, the game will auto direct it to the person that the game decides to. But because here, when I'm facing downwards, there is no one else next to me. I do L1 and I double tap triangle. You see, when you double tap triangle, don't apply power. The game will automatically apply power, so the game knows I want the ball in this vicinity, so it puts it over there. The game works out the mass, computes it, and therefore I get the ball perfectly to my feet and able to take a shot first time. Here's one final example I want to show you for the lob through ball when a player is getting you behind. I would suggest when you get the ball to your feet, press the L1 button so that player makes a run in behind. That's a key that no one ever talks about. That way you force the player to make a run in behind. Once the player is making a run in behind, you wait for the timing. Wait till your player is just about offside. As you can see here, L1 double tap. The game just automatically reconfigures the exact amount of power that I need. The ball arrives to my feet, first touch, and that's a goal. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget, driven through ball, lofted pass, lob through ball. The 3 most meta passes that you need to use in your game. Thanks for watching, take it easy, and I'll catch you next time.